how we see things through detailed explanation. Eyeless fish, very important concept. Some fish live deep inside dark caves where no light can enter at all. In such places, it is completely dark all the time. Because there is no light, these fish cannot see anything. Eyes only work when light is present. Since light never reaches them, their eyes become useless. Over many years, these fish lose their eyes because they do not need them. A simple example is a person sitting in a totally dark room. Even if the person has healthy eyes, they cannot see anything without light. So the main idea is that vision is not possible without light. Light basic idea. Light is a type of energy that makes things visible. Without light, nothing can be seen. For example, imagine your room at night with all lights switched off. You cannot see your table, books, or anything. But when you switch on a bulb or torch, everything becomes visible. This shows that light is necessary for seeing. Rule of eyes. Eyes are organs that help us see, but they do not produce light. They only receive light coming from objects. Some students think that eyes send out light, but that is wrong. You can understand this with a simple example. At night in complete darkness, your eyes are open, but you still cannot see anything. This proves that eyes do not produce light. Eyes only work when light enters them. Sources of light. A source of light is something that produces its own light. Natural sources. These are found in nature. The sun is the strongest and most important source of light for Earth. It provides light during the day. Stars also produce their own light, but they are very far away. Lightning produces bright light for a short time during storms. Fireflies and some deep-sea fish can also produce light from their bodies. Man-made sources. These are made by humans. Examples include bulbs, lamps, candles, torches, and street lights. When you switch on a bulb, it produces light, so it is a light source. Important idea. Some things look bright but are not real sources of light. For example, the moon looks bright at night, but it does not produce its own light. It only reflects sunlight. Similarly, mirrors and diamonds shine because they reflect light, not because they produce it. Why we can see the moon? The moon does not have its own light like sun. We see the moon because sunlight falls on it and then bounces off toward our eyes. So the moon is visible due to reflection, not because it produces light. Deep-sea fish and big eyes. Fish that live in places with very little light usually have very large eyes. Large eyes help them collect more light, so they can see better in dim conditions. For example, owls also have large eyes because they hunt at night. Energy-saving lights. Old bulbs produce both light and a lot of heat. This wastes energy. Energy-saving bulbs use less electricity and produce less heat, so they are more efficient. That is why they are better for saving energy. Reflection of light. Reflection happens when light hits a surface and bounces back. A mirror is a very good example. When light falls on a mirror, it bounces back and forms an image. How we see objects. There are two ways we see things. We see light sources because they produce their own light, like the sun or a candle. We see other objects because they reflect light. For example, a table does not produce light, but when light falls on it, it reflects some light into our eyes. If no light is present, objects cannot reflect light, so we cannot see them. Reflection in water. Calm water has a smooth surface, so it can reflect light clearly like a mirror. You can see your face in still water. In contrast, seawater is usually moving and rough, so the reflection is unclear or broken. Shiny and dull surfaces. Shiny surfaces reflect more light and give clear images. A mirror is a good example. Dull surfaces, like a wall, reflect less light and do not form clear images. Materials and light. Different materials allow light to pass in different ways. Transparent materials. These allow most light to pass through them. Because of this, you can see clearly through them. Glass and clean water are examples. Translucent materials. These allow only some light to pass. You can see through them, but the image is not clear. Tracing paper is an example. Opaque materials. These do not allow light to pass through them at all. You cannot see through them. Wood, metal, and cardboard are examples. Spectacles example. Spectacle lenses are made of transparent material so that light can pass through and we can see clearly. Light sensors. Light sensors detect how bright the surroundings are. For example, a mobile phone screen becomes brighter in sunlight and dimmer in darkness automatically. Street lights also use sensors to turn on at night and off during the day. Shadows. A shadow is a dark area formed when an object blocks light. How shadows form? When light falls on an object that does not allow light to pass, the light is blocked. Behind the object, a dark area is formed. This is called a shadow. Types of shadows. Opaque objects produce dark shadows because they block all light. Translucent objects produce lighter shadows because they allow some light to pass. Shadow length. The length of a shadow depends on the position of the light source. When the sun is low in the sky, the shadows are long, and when the sun is high in the sky, the shadows are short. In the morning, the sun is low, so shadows are long. At noon, the sun is directly overhead, so shadows are very short. In the evening, the sun is low again, so shadows become long. Example of walking near a lamp. When you walk toward a lamp, your shadow is behind you. As you get closer, the shadow becomes shorter. After you pass the lamp, your shadow appears in front of you. Shape of shadow. The shape of the shadow is same as an object block the light. But the shape of a shadow depends on the position of the object and the direction of light. The same object can produce different shadow shapes when its position changes. Why shadows form? Light travels in straight lines. Because light cannot bend around objects, when an object blocks light, a shadow is formed. Pipe experiment. If you look through a straight pipe to the light source, you can see the light. But if the pipe is bent, you cannot see the light. This shows that light travels in straight lines. Real life examples. Sunlight passing through gaps in trees forms straight rays. Laser beams travel in straight lines. Spotlights also show straight beams of light. Shadow and reflection difference. A shadow is formed when light is blocked, and it appears dark with no image. Reflection happens when light bounces off a surface and forms an image. A mirror shows reflection, not a shadow. Important concepts to remember. Light is necessary for seeing. Eyes do not produce light, they only receive it. Light travels in straight lines. Objects are seen when light enters our eyes. The moon is visible because it reflects sunlight. Shiny surfaces reflect more light than dull surfaces. Transparent materials allow light to pass, while opaque materials block it. Shadows form when light is blocked. Shadow size and position depend on the light source. Answers of all questions. Chapter 9, How we see things. 1. This eyeless fish lives in a dark cave. Why is there no need for the fish to have eyes? Answer. The fish does not need eyes because it lives in complete darkness where there is no light at all. Eyes only work when light is present. Since there is no light in the cave, the fish cannot see anything even if it had eyes. So, over time, it does not need eyes. Example. Just like when you are in a totally dark room, you cannot see anything even though you have eyes. 2. Classify the following into light sources and non-light sources. Star, moon, sun, earth, mirror, electric torch, diamond, table lamp, firefly, boy, burning candle, lightning, table, television switched on. Answer. Light sources. Star, sun, electric torch, table lamp, firefly, burning candle, lightning, television switched on. These produce their own light. Non-light sources. Moon, earth, mirror, diamond, boy, table. These do not produce light. They only reflect light. Example. The moon looks bright, but it is not a light source because it reflects sunlight. 3. An owl hunts at night. Suggest why it has big, round eyes. Answer. An owl has big, round eyes so it can collect more light in the dark. This helps it see clearly at night and catch its prey. Example. Just like deep sea fish have large eyes to see in dim light. 4. Draw arrows to represent light rays to show how the eye can see the fire in the tree. Answer. Explanation. Light travels from the fire directly into the eye. For the tree, light from a source like the sun falls on the tree, then the tree reflects that light into the eye. Simple idea. We see light sources directly. We see objects when light reflects from them into our eyes. 5. Draw 3 arrows to show how torchlight is reflected by mirrors before entering the eye. Answer. Explanation. Light comes out from the torch, hits the first mirror, then reflects to the second mirror, and finally reflects into the eye. Important idea. Light changes direction when it hits a mirror. This is called reflection. 6. The photograph shows day and night curtains. A. Which set of curtains allows some light to pass through? Why? Answer. Day curtains allow some light to pass through. They are made of translucent material so that light can enter the room but not too strongly. Example. You can see light but not clear objects through them. B. Which set does not allow light to pass through? Why? Answer. Night curtains do not allow light to pass through. They are made of opaque material to block light completely, giving privacy in darkness. 7. Look at the windows in your classroom. A. What materials are used? Answer. Windows are usually made of glass. B. Do they allow most, some, or no light? Answer. They allow most light to pass through because glass is transparent. C. Do they reflect light? Answer. Yes, they reflect some light, but most light passes through them. 8. Which material is suitable for each purpose? A. To wrap a surprise gift. Answer. Opaque material is best because it hides the object completely. B. To wrap a textbook so the title can be seen. Answer. Transparent material is best because you can clearly see through it. C. To make a lampshade. Answer. Translucent material is best because it lets some light pass and reduces brightness. 9. Which material casts a darker shadow, aluminum foil or tissue paper? Answer. Aluminum foil casts a darker shadow because it does not allow light to pass through. It is opaque. Tissue paper allows some light to pass, so its shadow is lighter. Thus, Sarah is walking towards a street lamp at night. A. Why is a shadow formed? Answer. A shadow is formed because Sarah blocks the light from the lamp. B. Is the shadow in front or behind her? Answer. The shadow is behind her when she walks towards the lamp. C. What happens to the shadow as she gets closer? Answer. The shadow becomes shorter. D. After passing the lamp, where is the shadow? Answer. The shadow is now in front of her. 11. Why can you see your reflection in a calm lake but not in the sea? Answer. A calm lake has a smooth surface, so it reflects light clearly like a mirror. The sea has waves, so its surface is rough, and light scatters in many directions. 12. How is Sarah able to see Ali's reflection? Answer. Light from the lamp falls on Ali. Ali reflects the light to the mirror. The mirror reflects the light into Sarah's eyes. 13. Some people think our eyes give out light. How can you prove this wrong? Answer. If eyes gave out light, we could see in complete darkness. But we cannot. We only see when light enters our eyes. 14. What are the disadvantages of a sundial? Answer. A sundial only works in sunlight. It cannot be used at night or on cloudy days. It is not very accurate. 15. Ali's experiment with stick and shadow. A. What can you conclude? Answer. As the distance between the stick and screen increases, the height of the shadow also increases. B. What will be the height at 11 cm? Answer. The pattern shows the height increases slowly. So at 11 cm, the height will be about 15 cm. C. Find the height of the stick. Answer. The stick is shorter than the shadow. From the pattern, its height is about this centimeter. Very important concepts for MCQS. Light is a form of energy that helps us see. We see when light enters our eyes. Light sources produce their own light. Non-light sources reflect light. Reflection means bouncing of light. Shiny surfaces reflect better than dull ones. Transparent lets most light pass. Translucent lets some light pass. Opaque blocks light. Shadows form when light is blocked. Light travels in straight lines.